So, Bill, come on up. Oh, and you didn't have to bring a crown. Thank you, sir.
It's mine.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. Web Tales, the story of Web Tales. Web stands for William Edwin Baxter. I am an author. And Web Tales is a treasury book of short stories that I wrote. Now, I first received my calling or desire to write Web Tales clear back in the 1990s when a fellow Toastmaster member and friend told me I had missed my calling and should have been an author of short stories. And so I had won a lot of speech contests and Toastmasters telling stories. So that was added to my bucket list. But I made the mistake of thinking, I got all the time in the world. I got the rest of my life ahead of me. So I procrastinated for years. Big mistake of epic proportions. It was a few years after I moved from Orange County, where I was at that time, to Colorado Springs on the morning of July 9th, 2016. I suffered a massive pulmonary embolism. And by the time the paramedics got me to the hospital, I was barely breathing and fighting for my life. And I later learned, while I was in a coma in the ER, I had stopped breathing and was near death, but the doctor managed to resuscitate me and remove the blood clot. Later, I was taken to the intensive care unit where I spent the night in a coma and the prayer vigils went out. But I woke up the next day. I had survived the ordeal through divine intervention and only through divine intervention, and I was going to recover. After I was released from the hospital 2 weeks later, I began to take a good look at my life. You see, I was born with developmental disabilities. I was a forceps baby. And for most of my early years, I was a social outcast and often bullied. But I learned through life not to let my disabilities, bullies, naysayers, or even celibacy defeat me in life, but to continue to go above and beyond my disabilities by achieving great things which people like me are not expected to achieve. And I did, and I inspired a lot of people, and that became my legacy. But had I died in the ER that day, that legacy might have died with me, and that's a legacy that should live on after I'm gone. And the one way you can make that happen is to write a book. In my case, Web Tales. So seeing that life was too short and I was being given a second chance, that's what I did. I got all my Toastmaster stories and other stories together, and Web Tales was published on May 1st, 2018 as an ebook, and a couple weeks later as a printed copy. I had finally achieved my crown. And I've written several other books, in fact, over 100 other books since then. Today, I write short stories for a collaborative book project called Everyday Adventures, which is put out by Misfit Press, owned by Gene Walton and Jamie Obertebessing. I'm in the business for carrying on my legacy and inspiring others through my legacy and through resilience. And I'd like to leave you with a takeaway this morning. I know a lot of people have goals, especially people who have businesses. But the worst thing you can do when pursuing a goal in your life is to fall in the trap of thinking you got all the time in the world and the rest of your life ahead of you. I will tell you from my own experience, you don't know how much time you have. Nobody does. And you're not even guaranteed another day. So as you pursue your goals, put off procrastination or anything that slows you down. And then pursue your goals with diligence and perseverance. And then obtain your victory crown. Thank you for coming this morning, and now it's time. I'm ready for questions.